Hi, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. So today's video we're doing another crypto income update. This is for July 2021. As always, links to all the previous updates are in the description below. And if you haven't been following along this series, basically at the beginning of the year, I set a target of $120,000 of crypto profits this year. And this is all new revenue. So it's not the capital appreciation of coins. This is sort of staking rewards, trading profits, advertising, stuff like that. So 120,000, and we hit that a month or so ago. So I doubled the target to 240,000. So I think probably 50-50 whether we hit this kind of new target. But let's jump straight in and have a look at the first source of revenue, which is CeFi, centralized finance. And this is basically crypto interest accounts. So we have the company on the left, or the platform that we're using on the left hand side, the main coins that we've kind of invested, how much revenue we've made this episode. So this is in July 2021, and then the total revenue so far this year. And we're starting with BlockFi at the top here. Now, very depressing really in a way to see such low returns from kind of BlockFi. Basically that's because we've removed pretty much all the kind of like coins from it. We've got a few hundred Link and a handful of Litecoin, but that's the only stuff we've got left in. Basically the reduction in rates, particularly for kind of Bitcoin, and also the reduction in tiers. I think only earning the maximum amount, which is only 4% now for BlockFi on Bitcoin for the first quarter of a Bitcoin. So really doesn't pay to hold in their platform at the moment. But yeah, sorry to see this so low, down to sort of like $40 when it was, used to be sort of several $100s a month. Every month we used to be getting from BlockFi. Moving on to Celsius, $274.30. Nothing for crypto.com. We haven't used this for a while now. Ledon, $463.89. We got some in the USDC account now. I had more last month, but I actually sold off a load of USDC when Bitcoin was very low. We've moved some of that over into kind of Bitcoin, and we've been doing some various other bits and pieces with that. So $463 for Ledon, $1.05 for Nexo. Just got a handful of Nexo tokens that are actually staking and earning a small amount on the platform. I may look to use Nexo a little bit more going forward. Some of the rates for some things are pretty decent, so I might start to use that again a little bit. And then $7.69 for Swissball, but I have actually in the last week sold all my Swissball tokens. I had about 5 or 6,000, something like that, Swissball kind of tokens, and I was going to hold on to 2,000 to get the community premium for the better rates, but the rates are so poor on Swissball. I think there's no real incentive to lock coins up, certainly for 12 months, to get better rates when those better rates are not in themselves any better than you can get from other kind of platforms. So not a huge incentive to do that. So I actually kind of waited for a little bit of a pump up in the last week or so, and I sold off my Swissball tokens. Now I've got them pretty cheap, so I think I've probably made about 300% profit on those in the last kind of 6 months or so. But yeah, just a little bit disappointed with what's happened with kind of Swissball, with the kind of like the reduction in kind of rates and stuff like that, particularly for Ethereum, where I thought they'd be able to hold slightly better returns for slightly longer, utilizing DeFi for that. But a little bit kind of disappointing, so we won't be using that for the foreseeable future, but we'll see what happens in the future with rates if rates pick up again. And then finally a yield app, we've added another 1.5 Ethereum I think to that, so $12.48 for yield app. Just playing around with this, but I'm hoping to do a video of how it all works in the next few weeks. And then moving on to DeFi staking and Masternodes. So the first one here, this is QuickSwap and Uniswap. So this is our DeFi stuff. Now at the moment it's all QuickSwap. I'm not using Uniswap at all, and that's basically because the fees are so high on Ethereum. So I'm actually using QuickSwap, but I'm actually using a layer 2 solution, which is Matic or now Polygon on top of QuickSwap, and it means that instead of paying many dollars, in some cases tens if not hundreds of dollars for doing complex transactions on the Ethereum base chain, I'm paying probably a tenth of a cent or maybe a fraction of a tenth of a cent for each transaction, whether that's kind of like swaps or adding liquidity, removing liquidity, etc, etc. So I'm really liking Polygon on QuickSwap. The only slightly frustrating thing is I've been using a piece of software called Liquidity Folio in order to keep track of this, and it shows you how much you're making each day in both Ethereum terms and US dollar terms, but I'm having real trouble tracking accurately the stuff on Matic's basically on QuickSwap at the moment. So for Uniswap it worked perfectly. I think probably with base chain Ethereum it would work perfectly with QuickSwap, but I think there's something within the layer 2 solutions, it's not necessarily picking everything up. I'm also staking my liquidity pool tokens as well on there in order to earn quick rewards. So I don't know whether that's having a bit of an issue. I had some issues last month and I reached out to the developer who was really kind of helpful, fixed everything, but then a few weeks later started seeing the same kind of issues, and I'm suddenly, you know, some days I'll get like, you know, suddenly a minus 300 kind of fees. So the fees should obviously always be kind of positive. So I'm seeing some anomalies there. So this is a best guess of what I've made this month. If I can get everything kind of like sorted out, I'll do a review of Liquidity Folio because I think it's really good. And back when I was just using Uniswap, it was a really good tool. Up to 50,000 in a portfolio, it's completely free as well. So it's a great tool for that. But yeah, as I said, having a few issues with the layer 2 stuff on QuickSwap. So this is a little bit of an estimate. It's a best guess that I can kind of make at the moment. As we go forward, if I can get the figures more accurate, I'll go back and sort of like tweak these. But $1,776.90. Cardano staking $250. Icon $15, and Solana $60.49. You might notice that I've reduced some of the Cardano, so down to 50,000 Cardano and 1,000 Icons. So I've been just rejuggling a little bit my portfolio. I'm looking to also maybe add some more Solana going forward this year. Nothing for Tezos, nothing for Horizon, because we got rid of those coins in the last couple of months. And then moving on to trading and leverage loans. Now, in last month's video, I haven't traded for a couple of months, and I mentioned the last month's video that I just started to open up a few kind of long positions, and I made a few grand at the beginning of the month, and then we had that really big pullback, and I kind of basically gave up all the gains I kind of made. Now, in the last week, as we've seen this nice run up, I've just started to take some small long positions with Bitcoin. So we made a small amount of money, not a huge amount by any stretch, $877.07. I withdrew all my Ethereum from Bybit and gradually putting that into kind of DeFi, but I'm still doing a little bit kind of like trading with kind of Bybit, but it's quite nice in a way not having to look at the kind of like the charts every morning, not having to be studying them all the time. So I'm basically setting up some very low leverage kind of like long-term kind of like trading kind of positions on Bybit. I might check the market's kind of like maybe once in the morning, then again in the kind of afternoon, but it's quite nice having a little bit of time away from trading. So if we go through a continued kind of like bull market, I'll probably put some Ethereum back in and maybe try and trade that back up like I did towards the beginning of the year, and we were quite successful in that. But with the sideways trading market, I kind of like moved away from it because it was taking up quite a lot of time for pretty insignificant kind of gains over the last couple of months. We had some really big kind of pullbacks as well as some sort of like pumps back up. So at the moment, just doing very small amounts. As I said, if we have a continued rise over the next couple of months, probably start doing a little bit more. Nothing from the B2X. I've currently got quite a lot, so I've got 8.6 Bitcoin tied up in Ledden's B2X loans, but I'm looking for an increase in price up past really 50,000 to start taking some profits from those. If we go back up to previous all-time high of sort of like 64, something like that, and beyond, these will be looking really good towards the second half of this year. But these are very much longer term positions that I'm holding. Happy to hold these for a good few months, up to 6 months or so. And then moving into our other kind of miscellaneous income, $13.74 from NiceHash. It's been a hot month, so I really haven't minded a lot, but I've had it on. We had a few coolish days, so I had this, it's a 3090 basically in my main kind of machine, so I've just been using that on kind of NiceHash. Left it on a few nights overnight, so a tiny bit of revenue from that, but up to $1,200 odd, which is not far off paying for the actual graphics card probably in the next kind of couple of months. And then YouTube, just over $20, just under $3 of library revenue, and then finally referral, $679.67. Sorry, let me jump back. $679.67 even. So a grand total this month of $4,496, up to just shy of $140,000 overall this year. And if we jump over to the graph, you can see these were these really big kind of months basically when we were making lots from the leveraged kind of trading, not just Bybit and Prime XBT, but also on our B2X positions on Ledden. And then the last few months we've been consolidating basically sort of like some of the sort of like base revenue from staking and CeFi. So a little bit better than last month, so heading in the kind of right direction, but really looking for a decent kind of upswing in the market to take some more profits from the trading side of things and also the leveraged B2X positions. And then if we have a look at the income by the different types of revenue, you can see here 18% from interest accounts, DeFi 47%, so a decent month for kind of DeFi and staking, 19% from trading, so probably our lowest month from trading when we've actually been doing some trading. Then other 16%, so these are fairly in line, and then half of it almost coming from our staking this last month. And then if we look at the cumulative figures here, you can see here this is the first month here, so the first column here, this like reddish kind of color column, is what we've actually made. The middle one is our initial target, which is 120,000, you can see here, and then these green bars here, the darker green bars, is the new target of up to 240,000. And you see for the first time since January we're actually fallen just behind our new target. It's still way ahead of the original kind of target, which, as I mentioned before, we hit a good few months ago now. But we are now a fraction behind our new target. I think hitting this new target, which would be 20,000 a month basically for the next 5 months, another 100 grand would have to add on to our revenue so far. We're really going to rely on a nice upswing in the second half of this year, maybe in the last 3 months of this year, a big upswing in the price, not just so we can make some more from sort of interest accounts and stuff like that. Obviously the higher the price of kind of Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, the more we're actually making each month, but more so from the trading point of view. I think if we have a really big upswing, go back to trying to make a little bit more from kind of trading, but also our B2X. I think the crux of whether we will hit this target, it really depends on what Bitcoin does in the last 3 months of this year. If it goes up to where it was previously, if not kind of higher, I think we'll probably easily make this target. If we kind of like have a bit of a sideways move, don't do anything spectacular, I think we'll probably kind of miss it. But that's it for this month's update. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I do try and read all the kind of comments. I get a lot of kind of scam comments, and please don't add links. If you add a URL into the kind of comment, it gets auto kind of moderated and auto deleted by Google, and I don't actually see them. So if you've been adding comments and I haven't kind of replied and you don't see them on, it's probably because you've added a URL in them. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the next video. I hope you're keeping safe and well, but until then, have a great day. Bye bye.